Enjoying that?
Don't worry, I'm a fitness professional.
Welcome to 40 Fit for everyone. I'm Oscar and this is Mimi, and we are going through our 10 Fit Commandments, and today is number 9. Should have been number 1 to me. If you ain't making progress, then watch what you eat. When people start to lift them no one listen. They be sitting in the kitchen eating the fried chicken.
Or ice cream.
I was gonna say, they be sitting in the kitchen eating the green ice cream thing. Matcha. Yeah. So today we're gonna talk about basically nutrition, I guess, is the way I would look at it. But here's the thing with nutrition. Everybody knows what the right thing to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Like we all know, eat like an adult, right? Don't eat things that are out of a box. Eat things that are less processed. If the sun shines on it and it's one ingredient, it's probably good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Your carbs shouldn't come out of a box. Your protein should probably come from good sources, your meats and your chicken.
Whole foods, they call them.
Right.
Not Whole Foods the store, but those are considered to be whole foods.
Right. You should get plenty of vegetables. You should drink a lot of water. We all know this, right? However, what happens for people when they start doing exercise, and especially, let's say they follow all of our commandments.
Well, I worked out today, so I can totally eat this ice cream, right?
Is that they feel that they've earned the right to eat something like ice cream. Just realize that you're eating the ice cream because you're enjoying it, and
That's
it freaking
right.
tastes delicious.
I'm gonna own it.
And own it, and enjoy it. Appreciate the taste. Get good quality ice cream. Don't get that crappy stuff.
Yeah.
But realize that you cannot outwork a bad diet. You know, there's a saying in the kettlebell community. There's a kettlebell exercise which I cannot do because our ceilings are too low, but it's a kettlebell snatch, which is basically bringing a kettlebell from the floor all the way up, right, and then continuing that motion. And it's a very metabolically demanding exercise, especially if you're doing the right weight.
Pretty intense.
An intense weight. But there's a saying that you cannot out-snatch a donut. And it doesn't say that you cannot out-work out your calories. But there's been a theme over the past few weeks where we've talked about people wanting to be lean, like as a goal. You know, some people will say flat out, yeah, I need to lose 50 pounds, or yeah, I just don't want to be fat, or I want to get more muscle. But in essence, people want to be leaner, put on lean muscle mass. I don't think anyone can usually deny that. Maybe a sumo wrestler is like,
or belly flop, professional belly flop competitor.
I'm getting too lean for my profession.
Well, so no, here's the thing, right? So obviously we all know that, but there's also a feeling. So this is 40 Fit Foo, and the point of that is as we age and we're up above the 40s, 50s, 60s, etc., we realize our body can only handle so much, and that includes the joints, right? So that's how you love joint mobility, but like the more we pack onto our body, that's the more we're carrying around all the time. And that affects us, and it affects the way we move, it affects the way we think and feel. Because if you feel like you have pain in your ankles or knees or hips or back, sometimes it is from, we just gotta be honest here, the excess weight or the excess, you know, the injuries you had, which could have been caused by that as well. So, I mean, it is all related. We talked about positive state last week, so we don't want anyone to be down on themselves. And if you do have an ice cream cone, like you said, enjoy it, but maybe don't have it for breakfast.
I've had people tell me, oh, I had pizza and ice cream for breakfast.
So, you know, you own it and say, okay, yeah, and maybe don't have it every day, or, you know, you kind of have to make those decisions for yourself and not be down on yourself, but you also have to be in touch with reality and know that if you don't have the lean, you know, structure that you want, you're not moving the way you want, you're not feeling the way you want, it is the nutrition. I mean, it's unfortunate. I never wanted to hear it whenever it was like time for a show or something that I was going to be physically demanding. I'm like, well, maybe if I just train harder. But I mean, ultimately, what you eat really affects your body. I mean, it's basically, like you said a couple weeks ago, the fuel you put in. You know, how good the fuel you put in is how well the vehicle performs.
Right. And the other thing is, you know, the basics of that lyric, right? We can talk about nutrition forever. Here's what you should eat. Here's how to build good habits. Here's why it's good for you. But to stay like with that theme of the lyrics, as far as when people start lifting, they don't want to listen to. They're still home eating fried chicken. Is something that we deal with all the time, and even with ourselves. And I won't get too personal with like my doctors and whatnot, but getting blood work, even as a fitness professional, and then having a physician tell you, well, here's kind of where you're at, and here's what's happening because of the food that you're eating that you might think is optimal, but it's probably not optimal, and you can't really work that out.
Yeah.
You can't really out-train that, so these are the choices that you need to make. And even for myself, which I'm a pretty lean person, but the blood work doesn't lie. Like, this is what it shows. And changing your nutrition and even tweaking it to make it a little better will improve that. I had a client just today that I trained who said that they were worried about their blood test, their annual blood test that they're going to do next week. And I was like, well, why are you worried? She said, well, this person says, because I haven't been running as much. I haven't been able to run as much as I used to. And I was like, well, that shouldn't really affect your blood work as much. She's like, well, the thing is that I'm eating very poorly. I have a lot of sugar in my diet, my soda, and I just have a very big sweet tooth. So the reminder there is there's a priority for you wanting to get lean, have good blood work, whatever it is, and steady state cardio, like running, slow, steady running, is way down here. This is just, in my opinion, and with also some other research, is number 1 is your nutrition. Number 2 is your strength training. Number 3 is high intensity interval training. And number 4, way down here, is what most people do when they think that they need to get in shape.
Cardio.
I need to go running.
Yeah.
I run a lot, so now I can eat all of this pasta or ice cream or whatever it is, but you cannot out-train that. And some people naturally and genetically have leaner bodies and thinner bodies, and so they can eat certain things and it won't impact their body in a certain way, but that doesn't mean that what's going on inside is really working.
Absolutely.
So that has to do with what we talked about.
Check with your medical professional.
Yeah, check with your medical professional, but as well, we talked about the last few commandments: your mindset, lifting, training for strength, right? Hydrating, and nutrition. All of these things kind of work coincidentally together. And yes, while we talked about last time that mindset is probably the most important thing, if I had to choose a second one, it would be your nutrition. That would be the next thing. So
awesome. So no ice cream every day, probably, but you guys make your choices. But nutrition's important. So
yeah, and here's the last thing. It's exactly how we started this. Is when you decide to treat yourself with ice cream. I love sweets. Like, I'm gonna probably have a piece of chocolate right now. Is
right, but I made the chocolate myself.
This is the point I was trying to make. Is be super picky and like stuck up about your dessert.
Right.
Pick the best stuff. If you want ice cream, get really good ice cream, right? If you want a chocolate, get high quality, like dark chocolate.
Get someone that that's a really good chocolatier that can make everything from scratch with all natural ingredients and no artificial sweeteners or no sweeteners at all.
Right. And then when you have that, enjoy it. But just realize that you're having that to satisfy how you're feeling, to enjoy it, to maybe have it with friends and family, but that you didn't necessarily earn it from working out. Maybe just switch that.
Yeah,
that
like
part
detach those.
Detach those two. Like, don't detach your treat or how you're eating from the training that you did as a reward. Instead, reward yourself with other stuff like, hey, I'm going to buy a cool new shirt that fits me now because I've gotten, I've lost some weight. But when it comes to your treat, realize that you're eating that because of something else, not as an earned.
Right, just enjoy it.
But enjoy it. I'm going to go enjoy a piece of chocolate right now.
All right, so thank you for joining us on 4C Fit Food. We're here every Tuesday at 7:45. Turn on notifications, subscribe, tell your friends, tell everyone you know, and we will see you back next week for rule number 10.
Wrapping it up.